Namaste. I'm making this video today to describe some of the changes that are happening with me as of late. Um, well, there's a lot of things, a lot of phenomena continues as usual. But what the more, um, distinctive change would be, and this is really within the last several months. There is a lot of gaps between thoughts, great gaps between thoughts, so as well as very sluggish thoughts, slowing of mind, and that eventually comes to the center and then stills. And it's like even with my movements, just regular bodily movements have become more slow many times. It's not like someone notices that when I'm out with them or anything like that, but it's certainly noticed here. This has come with a lot of slowing in the kriyas. So this has been ongoing for quite some time, but it has really become more just more distinct, more prevalent lately. So that is part of what is happening, as well as there has been a lot of visions. Some people have seen some of the messages or read about them or heard about them, maybe not, but just a real flood of visions around the blood moon time. But now they are coming in and out and continuing, but nothing like that flood. And the other night when I was laying down, there were three visions that popped up, and I'll describe them to you. There was, and this is just when the consciousness is black, and then these visions just emerge out of this substance, really, this darkness. And the first one was a gold cross. And this gold cross had a lot of pearls underlying it and really sparkly, clear jewels. Um, that just, manifested and then disappeared. And then there was a cliff with just a lot of green grass, and it was as if I was standing there looking down, and as I was looking down, there was just this deep pitch black darkness. I didn't feel fear at the time at all. There was just just a presence of being there. As these visions and things have come up so much, I've really kind of become just, I guess steadier with them, or it's just part of the process, and that was happening. So that was the second image. The third one, and I've had many visions of the ocean in which, I was viewing the ocean up close and the crashing waves and the jutting rocks and the birds flying and the smell and, all of that being there in crystal clarity has come, and or just laying down under the waves and looking up at the full moon and the stars. But this one was as if this form was walking into the ocean, and then the waves just came rolling over and, engulfed the form into this blackness. At the time, I didn't feel any fear with this. That's just the way it's been. And so those three visions came out three in a row just a few nights ago. And since then, there has been even more stilling into substance. I'm just going to keep it simpler, or at least give the more briefer description of what's happening right now in terms of the journey, because this could really, it's really been something else. Or sometimes just sitting and, I may want to write or I may want to grab for something, and then that falls away, and that is no longer there as an energy, like a desire to do that. And there's just this stilling and settling into stillness, just beingness. There are still thoughts that float in sometimes during that time, sometimes none. And, it's just a different feeling, you know. And again, I have gotten used to more of the slowing as being, you know, becoming more common, and these gaps and things. But certainly before, if you have a mind that's running all the time and then all of a sudden these things are happening, it's very unusual sounding. The voice that's in there is different sounding. It's just low, and it becomes kind of garbled, like a tape being unwound, or as if you're listening to it in another room almost sometimes. And these things are not, some of them aren't new. They came here and there in bits, and now they're coming much more often. And again, the mind can be, you know, cycling on whatever, and then the next step that I take into the next room, or the next step, it's just this total slowing down of the form and the mind. And at times too, and this is the first time I can really say that, and I don't, you know, I'm not done yet, but at times there's this incredible peace, and you know, I know it can be described as ecstasy or bliss, in which these, they're, you know, the form and, you know, all of it, it's just resonating with pure peace, kind of a luminescent stillness in which everything just moves through with this play and this beauty and light and life. And you know, this has come after years and years and years and years, a long journey with many hardships, continuing, you know, definitely not fully blown out. But I do want to I did want to describe this to people. For here, it's more substantial in the way it's coming. Um, and we'll see, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, time, and grace's timing. It's not, you know, say the end, or, you know, there's 10 more years. I hope my hair doesn't turn much grayer before this is done, because I'm telling you, it's getting there. You know, I'm almost 57 years old, so I'm not a youngster, and I did start this as a child. There were much phenomena, but certainly not always conscious of seeking, but wanting to, you know, praying, and wanting to, you know, connect with God, and be heard, and all sorts of things that, you know, again, I know I'm not alone in this. This is the way many start, where you're not even recognizing fully that, you know, what you're seeking. Um, so I did want to describe that in a way that it might help people, you know, if they come across this in their journeys, sometime in their, as they go forward, and to also that people know that the practice of staying in the heart, the quietude that has been given by Guruji, and even in the nominal path, that's something that people can do. And I know Guruji has some videos out on just, you know, daily life, if people are not committed to this course Kundalini path, which is really quite a rigorous one, and it's not at all for everybody, that to just continue and continue and continue through whatever happens and comes and goes. And, you know, I will try to give more updates as things come along, and but I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving day. There's a lot to be thankful for, even through all of this turmoil and changes in the world that have come, that in no way is easy. But we go forward one day at a time with our hearts open, and keeping these practices and whatever we can to stay connected in a beneficial way with our, you know, whatever's happening within, and the planet. So thank you for being here. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Namaste. Bye.